The present. When the mind is trapped in the past, we cannot change anything. When the mind is lost in the future, we only create more stress. But when we focus on the present, we have the power to act, to change, and to control ourselves. How can we train this ability? The key lies in mindfulness, a technique that Stoic philosophers have practiced for thousands of years. It doesn't require you to meditate for hours or disconnect from the real world. It simply involves a conscious focus on the present, a clear awareness of your breath, your body's sensations, and your surroundings. Every time your mind wanders to the past or the future, gently bring it back to the present. There is a thought-provoking story about tennis champion Novak Djokovic. He once admitted that in the past, he would often obsess over previous losses or fear the outcome of the next match. These thoughts prevented him from focusing and controlling himself in crucial moments. However, everything changed when Djokovic learned to live in each point of the game, instead of spending time thinking about past mistakes or worrying about things that hadn't happened yet. He learned to completely focus on the present moment as he began to shift his mindset. Losses no longer haunted him. Every point, every shot became an opportunity to demonstrate calmness and decisiveness. It was this emotional control and focus on the details that helped him not only overcome challenges in each match, but also surpass even the toughest opponents. Djokovic's journey shows that success is not just about technical ability, but also about the ability to control the mind and focus on what is happening right in front of you. This is true not only in sports, but in every area of life. If you let the past and the future control you, you will never truly live. But if you focus on the present, you will find peace, strength, and the ability to make better decisions. So what about you? Do you often get stuck in old memories or worry about the future? Share your thoughts in the comments below. 7. Life is chaotic, but calmness. Life is chaotic, but calmness lies within you. Lies within you. Life is a series of unpredictable events. You may wake up ready for a wonderful day, but in just a few moments everything can change dramatically. An unexpected message, a heated argument, or an unforeseen trouble. Chaos is the nature of this world. But there is one thing you can always control: your mind and your reactions. Have you ever realized that your calmness amidst turmoil is your greatest strength when everything around you becomes tense, when people are easily swept up in panic? The one who can keep their mind still is the true winner. You don't have control over the outside world, but you have full control over how you act. When you truly understand this, you will find strength. Silence is not weakness or pity, it is a form of the highest power. The power of someone who can control themselves in any circumstance. Imagine you're driving on a crowded road. Another driver suddenly cuts in front of you, causing you to slam on the brakes. You could immediately get angry, honk your horn loudly, and shout harsh words. But ask yourself, will that reaction change the situation? Will it make you feel better? Or will it only make you more stressed? Now imagine a different scenario when that situation happens. You take a deep breath. You realize that anger won't help you choose to continue driving, calmly focusing on your journey, instead of letting your anger take control in that moment. Not only do you remain calm, but you also avoid making impulsive decisions that could lead to worse consequences in life. Moments like this happen every day. Someone says something offensive to you. A project gets canceled at the last minute. Someone betrays your trust. But no matter the situation, the important thing is not what happened, but how you respond. When you let your emotions explode unchecked, you are giving your power to the external circumstances. But when you stay calm, you are taking control of your own life. When someone is angry, they want you to be angry too. When someone is anxious, they hope you will worry with them. However, if you can maintain your calm, you refuse to become a victim of their emotions. Calmness is not indifference or avoidance. It is the ability to self-regulate so that you don't get pulled into the negative spiral they are creating. You can learn to control your calmness through everyday situations. Take a simple example, a family argument. Someone says something that makes you want to respond immediately. You feel your heart racing, your body tensing, your mind filled with rebuttals. But instead of responding right away, you choose to pause for a moment. You realize that silence can sometimes be the strongest response when you don't react the way others expect. They will have to face their own words. They may realize their mistake, or at the very least, they won't be able to drag you into the emotional storm they are creating. True. Victory is not in who gets. Don't skip. Most of the things we worry about never actually happen. Have you ever noticed that? Think back to the last time you lost sleep over something, a stressful meeting, a small mistake, or maybe just a vague fear of what the future might hold. But when that moment finally passed, you realized it wasn't nearly as bad as you had imagined. That's the trap of the mind. It exaggerates, it inflates, and it pulls us into a spiral of anxiety and overthinking. But here's the beautiful truth. You don't have to stay trapped in that invisible cage through the wisdom of Stoicism. You can learn to free yourself from negativity and rediscover the calm within, and you'll be surprised at just how simple it can be. This isn't just abstract theory. These are lessons I've distilled from real-life experiences, practical methods that helped me break free from anxiety, overcome negative thoughts, and regain balance in my life. Over the next 40 minutes, I'll walk you through each step with clarity and purpose. So stay focused and don't miss a single part. Mental freedom is closer than you think, and the journey starts right now. Number 1, understand how your mind. Understand how your mind works to avoid its traps. Works to avoid its traps. The human mind, much like an invisible processor, operates tirelessly, constantly identifying, analyzing, and reacting to the world around us. However, few realize that while we believe ourselves to be in control of our decisions and emotions, our brain can subtly create invisible traps. These traps are not always easy to recognize, but they are the root causes of anxiety, negative thoughts, and the overthinking we often experience in Stoicism. Understanding the workings of the mind is the key to overcoming these traps. Have you ever wondered why, despite trying countless times, your mind can't stop dwelling on negative thoughts or endlessly worrying about the future? This isn't by chance. Neuroscience has shown that the human brain easily falls into a cycle of automatic negative thinking, especially when faced with stress or perceived danger. We can think of the brain as a massive filter for information, but sometimes it filters incorrectly, focusing only on the bad, the uncertain, and ignoring opportunities or viable solutions. This is the first trap. We often fall into the brain's tendency to fixate on negativity as it is tied to survival instincts. A part of our nervous system called the amygdala plays a key role in reacting to intense emotions, like fear, anxiety, and stress. When we encounter a dangerous situation, the amygdala activates to warn us, a natural reflex designed to protect us. However, in the modern world, where real dangers are less common, the amygdala still functions intensely, leaving us perpetually anxious, even in the absence of any real threat. Thoughts like, can I fail, or will I be criticized, are not realistic concerns, but rather an overreaction of the brain when confronted with uncertainty. So how can we escape this trap? According to Stoicism, the answer lies in awareness. When you realize that negative thoughts are not absolute truths, but mere products of automatic brain responses, you can begin to control them. It's similar to seeing a shadow in a dark room. You may initially think it's a dangerous animal, but when the light is turned on, you realize it's just an old chair. Your fear isn't inherent. It's simply a result of the brain reacting to an unclear situation. An effective method to recognize these traps is through my mindfulness. Research has shown that practicing mindfulness enhances awareness and reduces the impact of negative emotions. When you stop to observe your thoughts without judgment, you'll realize they are like clouds passing by, not the permanent essence of who you are. For example, instead of letting work-related worries take over your mind, you can identify them and consciously decide to stop rather than dive deeper into anxiety. Remember the words of Epictetus, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This means that while you may not control what happens, you always have the power to choose how you respond. The biggest trap we fall into is the lack of awareness of how our minds operate. Once you identify your thought patterns, you can step back, can choose a different path, instead of being caught in the whirlpool of anxiety and negativity. To illustrate, imagine you just received a work call informing you of a major problem with your project. Your first reaction might be worry and stress, imagining catastrophic outcomes. But if you pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what can I do right now to improve the situation? You'll start not finding solutions rather than letting anxiety take over. It is this proactive awareness and action that will prevent you from falling into the trap of temporary emotions. The human mind is like a boat sailing on the sea. It's not always calm. Waves of anxiety and worry can crash at any moment. But you are not the boat. You are the one steering it. And if you understand